Hello there, this is Iron Port. It is proudly brought to you by West Blue Consulting, Ghana Oil Company Limited, and Ghana Community Network Services. People, this week, you notice that crane over there, the Liebherr crane at the back there, and that particular barge also sitting in the sea there. I'll be telling you some things about the equipment that are made, that are put together to make up those cranes and the barges and all of that pretty shortly. In the meantime, though, this week, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has held its maiden joint consultative committee meeting that focused on paperless.
The Joint Customs Consultative Committee has held its first forum ever since its inauguration in June 2018, where stakeholders were assembled to discuss issues affecting the trade and maritime industry. The committee constitutes stakeholders from the maritime industry, including customs, GPHA, IT service providers, FDA, GSA, and freight forwarders. The Tema Sector Commander, Dr. Godfred Okon-Appiah, said the committee's engagement will go a long way to foster harmony while educating members on the common objective of trade facilitation and revenue mobilization.
It's good as stakeholders of this industry to have such a forum or such a consultative committee to help address issues concerning the industry. I keep saying we have a common collective objective with its overarching aim of trying to make the port a place of doing business in order to see to facilitation of trade through simplification of procedures and processes, and also harmonization of laws and regulations.
The forum was also used to discuss the paperless port system in order to address some emerged challenges. The Foods and Drugs Authority disclosed that communication between customs and the FDA for joint inspection examinations are ineffectively flawed and needed immediate improvement.
We have had cause to complain that these consignments are under detentions and they should not be released, but before you realize it's been released by the other agency. Okay, which of course does not help FDA because the product has not been certified to be on the market and the importers would always want to.
Ghana Standards Authority charged the IT service providers to update their systems to correct the roles of GSA instead of the current situation where GSA are being called upon to certify frozen foods, which is not part of their mandate.
GSA is no more working on frozen and meat products at RIFA. But the system continue referring this item to GSA. In this case, it becomes an outstanding, which shows that GSA has not done this work on a particular item, which is frozen meat, and it's standing in the name of GSA, and it is a big challenge.
Customs advised that communication be prioritized by stakeholders to increase trade facilitation.
Because of this issue of mismatching of numbers of the other agencies, we have seen that there have been a lot of delay activities on the part of our other inspection agencies.
West Blue Consulting called for clearing agents to respond to text messaging for inspection on time and charged the FDA and GSA to increase its inspection officers to speed up the process.
If I send text messages or the system sends text messages to the various players in the and they don't turn up, what happens?
Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders emphasized the need for a more organized governing body that would regulate the paperless system for overall success.
If we do not get all these MDAs, if we do not get them on the same table, under one, in fact, if you look at the WTO structure, the governance structure, it should be headed necessarily by the president.
Now, the Ghana Oil Company Limited, our proud partner on this program, GOIL, has completed a very important and major partnership with ExxonMobil. It's supposed to make GOIL the best within the industry. Already they are the leading marketing company when it comes to the downstream. Now, they are hoping that this partnership will make them very, very competitive in the upstream industry as well. So combine that with the downstream, then GOIL hopes to hit the highest with this partnership.
The nation's foremost indigenous oil marketing company, GOIL, has completed a joint operating agreement with ExxonMobil of the United States for Deepwater Cape 3 Points area oil exploration. The agreement between GOIL and ExxonMobil followed the completion of an elaborate and rigorous due diligence done by ExxonMobil for a local partner. The group CEO and managing director of GOIL, Patrick Akoli, who signed on behalf of GOIL, said the agreement fulfills the local content law, which stipulates a 5% stake reservation for a local entity. He noted that as the biggest indigenous oil marketing entity in Ghana, GOIL is optimistic the agreement will also pave the way for enhancing training opportunities for employees and, importantly, opening up more opportunities for employment.
So they'll be training our young ones so that in future, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 10 years to come, we'll have built a local, we'll have a skilled group of people, who can actually and effectively work upstream.
The GOIL Group CEO said the company intended to fulfill its parts of the agreement to become a strong, vibrant and competitive player in the upstream petroleum sector of the country's growing oil industry. Director and Venture Manager, ExxonMobil, E&P Ghana Deepwater Limited, Randy Cruz, led a 5-member team who participated in the signing of the partnership agreement, said the company was excited about the partnership and looked forward to Parliament ratifying the agreement for real work to begin.
Also, we're really excited as a company to be here in Ghana, and partnering with GOIL is a big honor for us, and we're looking forward to the the expedient ratification so we can start with our operation. Our goal is to be, the minute we have the agreement ratified, is to start with operational activity.
The board chairman of GOIL, Kwamina Bartels, described the joint agreement as historic, which opens a new chapter in the GOIL group,
where the experience and the capacity of ExxonMobil is such that we believe would give GOIL the advantage of being in a position to, on its own, go into the upstream oil exploration and production business.
The 20th edition of the Intermodal Africa Conference and Exhibition has been hosted by Ghana and Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority here in Accra. It was intended to educate and exchange ideas among all players within the industry, not just in Africa, also across the world, and again, exhibit very wonderful products that intend to boost the port and maritime trade.
Ghana has just hosted the 20th edition of the Africa Intermodal Conference and Exhibition, which is an annual event that assembles players in the maritime and logistics industry across the world in African countries to discuss global trends in the sector. This year's edition, a 2-day event, brought together over 200 participants and 30 speakers from various countries and subsectors of the industry to discuss new developments affecting the maritime, trade, and logistics landscape. Rory Dow, Managing Director of Transport Events, organizers of the conference, said, in addition to knowledge sharing, the conference also enhanced business networking.
The main purpose of the conference is networking. The opportunity for more than 200 people from 18 different countries to network over the course of a 2-day conference gives people a great opportunity to meet so many people who are all decision makers from the ports, shipping, logistics industry.
Director of Takoradi Port, Captain Ebenezer Afedzi, who represented the Director General, said innovations at Ghana's ports are transforming service delivery and revenue mobilization for the state.
Here in Ghana, last year witnessed a major change in the course of doing business in our ports with the introduction of the paperless port clearance systems. We do admit that the initial implementing stages were not that rosy, but with determination and the full support from the seat of government, we persevered And a year on, we've been able to improve on the greater aspects of our service delivery, including an exponential increase in custom revenue to the country.
The Transport Minister, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, in his keynote address said, Ghana is positioning itself to take advantage of the ongoing magnificent growth in the African maritime space.
For us in Ghana, we have put in place plans and programs to make our path competitive, as well as establish and maintain a maritime hub within the sub-region.
Presentations were made by some stakeholder agencies from different countries.
In as much as we are expanding and automating our ports, there is also the need to create better links to and from the ports themselves to ensure that we have a total efficiency and growth.
We exist, we operate, we get our income as a result of what is happening around us, mainly domestically or internationally. And if trade dwindles, it affects whatever we do. So trade facilitation has also emerged as a key factor for international trade efficiency and economic development in many countries.
The various speakers presented papers on the role their outfits intend to play on the goal of a safe, digitized, efficient logistics chain across the African maritime landscape. Exhibitors showcased various products and services available from their companies and agencies. Before the conference, however, the delegates toured the Tema port, where they saw the ongoing port expansion works.
That was the 20th edition of the INTERMODAL Africa Conference and Exhibition. And at that exhibition, a number of companies exhibited their product. One of those companies is Siemens. Siemens is now into heavy industrialized equipment, and it's supposed to be the largest industrialized equipment manufacturer in the entire Europe. Recently, they've been aiming to come to Africa, as President His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said some time ago when he visited Germany, and also when the German Chancellor Angela Merkel was in Ghana. That was re-echoed. This is what Siemens is doing. Now, equipment that power something like the cranes you see behind me there, all the equipment that power those cranes either by Liebherr or by Cone crane. So those ones, barges like that, all the equipment that are involved in that, that's what Siemens is producing right now. So what they are saying is that with Siemens, if they are to come to Ghana, as the president touted some time ago, that would mean that when these equipment are broken down, you don't have to take them all the way back to Europe, get them fixed and bring them back to Ghana to work. Or you don't even have to worry yourself importing the equipment all the way from Europe. You can find them right here in Ghana. Fortunately, at the 20th Intermodal African Conference, I caught up with the Chief Executive Officer of Siemens in Africa to ask how far is the plans to get, Siemens Africa, to get Siemens factory established in Ghana. And so far, what is Siemens doing as far as taking advantage in the port industry in Ghana is concerned? What actually brought you to Ghana, though?
Well, we had various meetings here in Ghana with some of our customers and also with the Ghanaian government. And so it's one of the regular follow-up which we do. So it was great today. Specifically with energy, that's our biggest business at this point in time in Ghana. We have several customers which have our rotating equipment in use, and we look forward to extend our business as well in, for instance, the Takoradi area.
In Takoradi area?
Yeah.
We've got a port in Takoradi area.
Absolutely.
To what extent does that help your business? Are you seeking to look for any opportunities along the ports of Takoradi in connection with your business?
Sure. For instance, one aspect for us could be the equipment housed in the port, the cranes, the equipment on the cranes. So that is definitely a business opportunity for us. But we also see that having a port at one certain region, you will have other projects like, for instance, rail connection, transportation areas, border controlling, which you can automate, and that will be part of our business portfolio.
I see. It means that now Siemens, you're looking at all these industrial stuff like cranes and all of that. Is that what you're doing now? Because most of us knew Siemens from the phones days. And what are you into now, though?
Well, the phones days are over. We departed quite a while ago. So our business is very much in the industrial space, in the energy space, and in the transportation space.
So in the area of transport, what are you looking for? What have you been doing?
So in the area of transport, we have strong collaborations with certain OEMs, specifically in the harbor environment. They are also present here in Ghana. So we would supply to these crane OEMs, for instance, we would supply our switch gears, e-houses, the hoist motors, and the control and instrumentation for the crane to operate safe. And one of the opportunities which we see specifically in the crane environment or in the harbor environment is to digitalize the information available in the harbor, feed that into, for instance, the port authorities which are managing the harbor, and therefore assist them with diagnostic information to schedule and plan better the duration ships are in the harbor or in the berth, and how long it will take to clear a certain freight, and how long ships maybe have to wait outside the harbor until they can dock in. So gives you a better forecasting and also possibility to increase the revenue specifically in the harbor environment.
What have you been doing generally in the area of rail, or what do you seek to do?
So in rail, traditionally our portfolio is about rolling stock, but also about signaling technology. With the context of here in Africa, we would focus predominantly on the signaling technology because we think there is our strongest focus as well as our strongest competitiveness in a combination with Asian suppliers on the rolling stock. And we pretty much interested in the lines you are currently tendering for. So specifically on, if you come to the port authority, so we would like to see a stronger engagement, for instance, with us, also to help you in some of the areas to maintain the current equipment better, to assist, and that also would help specifically in Ghana, building up certain skills in country so that we don't have to bring in skills from other regions.
And then apart from the port area, I mean, I recall that not long ago our president was in Germany and looking to have a lot of factories come down here. Is Siemens looking to have a factory back in Ghana?
First of all, it's very much depending on what is the load for such factory, because in order to make it commercially viable, you need to have a certain number of whatever you will produce. So we are more than willing to look at it, but it also does require that certain
the consumer market.
The consumer market, but we do not supply to the consumer market. So for us, that means industrial and governmental activities must be somehow at least placing a certain number of orders to ensure that such kind of setup is viable.
So in that regard, what would you expect from, say, government or from agencies?
So what I would expect is that we have a possibility to specify to some extent of technology which we would be able to supply. We do understand that in a country like, for instance, Ghana, where you're also part of the Compact with Africa, you do want to have a certain standard of transparency, but I do think if you want to attract that kind of business, you need to give a certain portion of load from your economy to ensure, you know, that it's not a one-time wonder for a few days or for a few years that people have a job, and then when that opportunity is not anymore there about a few big projects, everybody is placed in front of the door again. So that is what we would like to avoid, and we always, as a company, as Siemens, we look for a long-term engagement. Yeah. We are in Africa since more than 150 years.
Wow.
That means
that's a long time.
We have set through all various areas of transition on the continent, and that is the way on how we look into that. So we are not like the 1, 2, 3 years hoppers. We rather
very
look
long term.
We look into the long term, and that is really our engagement.
Baina there talking to me at the 20th INTERMODAL Africa Conference and Exhibition. She's in charge of Siemens in the entire African region, and she clearly stated that Siemens is serious about doing business here in Ghana and hoping to establish here in Ghana. They're already in town talking to the Ministry of Energy, also taking a look at the port industry and looking at all the advantages where they can tap in and cash in, and also help the growth of the port and maritime industry here in Ghana. On that note, Port returns after the break.
Hello. Good morning, this is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Get it right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here, in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window, the only way to Ghana's economic growth, is in our hands.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Welcome back from the break. Still watching Eye on Port and Neck, local news and activities around the port industry.
The Deputy Minister of Transport, Daniel Titles Glover, has launched Ghana Ship Suppliers Association. The association, which is into the supply of vessels, says it is committed to making a great impact in the maritime industry in the light of port transformation in Ghana. The Deputy Minister urged members of the association to upgrade their skills in order to attract more investors for their business.
I also want to encourage you that for you to sustain a business, and I'm happy that you are having your first inauguration here at RMU, they need to upgrade their skills. And I'm sure RMU will offer that opportunity for them once and when they come back to the university to come and upgrade yourself.
He also urged the association to purge itself of miscreants and also take advantage of ICT to boost their business.
We are also in an ICT world. You can sit in the comfort of your home. If these ships that are calling in the Tama ports, the application of a software, they know the companies, they just apply. Like the Kuba representative said, that after they have finished discharging in the past, the vessels are still berthing at the port. They are wasting the space because other ships have to come and berth and discharge. But if they give advance notice, by the time they finish discharging with the application of ICT, immediately you'll be given the necessary things that you need to enable you to continue to go and settle.
The director of Tema Port, Edward Kofi Osei, said Ghana's Port Authority is working diligently to increase the cargo that comes through the port from 14 million tons per year to 20 million tons. He said the Tema Port expansion project will open up the country for more businesses, including transshipment. Hence, the need for the Ghana Ship Suppliers Association to position themselves.
We also know that with the MPS expansion, Tema Port or Ghana will become the hub of West Africa shipping. And with that, there will be an increase in the number of vessels that will be calling at Tema Port. Transshipment, we believe, is just going to go through the roof.
The Vice Chancellor of the Regional Maritime University, Professor Elvis Nyaku, urged members of the association to conform to international best practices in their business activities.
On this occasion of your official inauguration, as a trade association, I urge you to ensure that your members conform and also apply international best practices in your business activities as you carry along the image of Ghana in whatever transactions you are engaged in. I will also plead with you that as you expand, please think of the timid youth who are looking up to you for jobs.
He also implored the association to create jobs in the maritime industry. Olam Ghana, one of the leading agri-commodity companies in the country, has held its end-of-year engagement with stakeholders across the country. Olam Ghana exports cocoa and cashew grown by more than 140,000 farmers, as well as imports grains and rice through the ports of Ghana. The end-of-year engagement was to appreciate the immense contribution of stakeholders and staff for their dedicated service to the company. A director of Olam Ghana said the company has 210 processing facilities and described Olam as one of the largest corporate farmers in the world. He said Ghana is the second country of operation to receive Olam after it was established in Nigeria. He said Olam was committed to bringing desirability and transformation with focus on operational excellence.
Ghana again is, like I said, the second country of operation, a very powerful footprint, started in '94. Today we have over 2,000 staff between permanent and casual. More than casual, it's really contractual. We are present in all the 10 regions of Ghana, over 320 distributors, and we have procurement that reaches out to more than 100,000 farmers.
International port news next.
Kitak Lim has been given a second 4-year term as Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, IMO. The IMO said its council agreed to renew Lim's appointment starting in January 2020, and the decision is yet to be approved by the IMO Assembly in December. Kitak Lim was born in the Republic of Korea, and he is the 8th elected Secretary General of the IMO. Biosecurity New Zealand is reporting that a vehicle carrier has been ordered to leave New Zealand waters following the discovery of stink bugs and other regulated pests. Biosecurity officers intercepted 3 live and 39 dead brown marmorated stink bugs and 69 other dead regulated stink bugs after the carmen arrived in Auckland from Europe on Wednesday morning. The 7,879 CEU vessel was carrying a range of vehicles from Europe and the United States.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
Schedules of vessels that are sitting in the port, those that are the anchorage, those also expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates are all next. So let me take the opportunity to wish my executive producer of this program a belated happy birthday, though now it was massive and I can't ever forget that wonderful birthday. Madam Esther Jebidonko, it was your birthday in the past week, and we continue to pray for you and say that continue to impact your knowledge within the industry on Iron Port and everywhere, particularly in this country. Also, another ardent viewer of Iron Port and the former First Lady of our Republic, Mrs. Nana Kunedu Ajeman Rawlings, ardent viewer of Iron Port. Madam, we appreciate all your feedback. You also turned 70 years a couple of days ago. We wish you happy belated birthday, Madam, and also your book, It Takes Woman, that's out. We say congratulations to you. Continue to watch their program, and your feedback always welcome. Regards to the entire family, Auntie Free and everybody else, your prodigal nephew will definitely show up. Thanks for watching Iron Port. Also, thanks to you for patronizing the program.